This is the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the most entertaining podcast in sports entertainment. It's the Scoop Slam Podcast. I'm your host, Micah, and we are here today going over Raw, going over some rumors. CM Punk has somehow found himself back in the spotlight while not being on a TV near you. I've got a sty in my eye, and I'm joined by the biggest heel in pro wrestling podcast. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah, ready to hate on Mr. Phil Brooks again. It's good to be back with you.
I knew we were going to start out like this. The day is March 23rd, 2023, and we're 200 days into no CM Punk in AEW, and here we are again about to argue over this. So Let's go ahead and get into it. We'll talk about the rumors first, as always. We'll start with the timeline for the day, because you sent me this, because you always find the forum posts. I don't know how, but...
Ray leaks online.
Yeah, but you stay on top of it. I just see the stuff on Twitter. I didn't see this anywhere on Twitter. I only saw it because you sent it to me, but...
Well, Mr. Phil Brooks is on the same website I'm on because he saw it too.
Same dirt sheets. Yeah. So, I don't know where this was posted to. You might. You know where?
It's on F4W online. It's in the forum.
Okay.
But I think somebody posted a comment and Meltzer. Wait, do you have it pulled up?
I have the comment pulled up, but that's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read it. So, it was posted by Dave. Do you know why they didn't advertise Punk versus Moxley longer and why it had a short build? Because Punk agreed to it, then AEW got a legal letter saying he wasn't down with it and wasn't doing it, and they didn't know if he'd come in until Tony put his foot down. There are a lot of nice things I can say about him, and you can absolutely argue his position on Moxley was correct, but you can't argue he willingly did what he was asked in that scenario. So, let's break this down for a minute, because I wanted to know, and you may know, you may not. What does he mean by you can argue his position on Moxley was correct?
I believe it was the context was that Moxley wanted to squash Punk, and Punk didn't want to do that creative. And so I'm guessing he said that CM Punk was right for not wanting to do that creative. That's what I interpreted it as.
Okay, did you know that before or after the CM Punk post?
I knew that before because there was a... Dang, let me see if I can pull up that...
While you're looking that up, I'll go ahead and read the Punk comment, and then we'll come back to what the original comment was that Dave replied to. So CM Punk posted on his Instagram, holy crap, I just realized the screen grab is 51 seconds after he made the post. He said, "Sigh, I wasn't cleared to come back to wrestle yet." Also, I just want to say, this was like 20 minutes after you had sent me the Dave Meltzer post that I saw this on Twitter. So this was a very quick development after I had just read what you posted. Because I went to Twitter to see if anybody was talking about it, and nobody was talking about that. They were already talking about this Punk thing. Anyways, let me get back to the quote. From CM Punk, "Sigh, I wasn't cleared to come back to wrestle yet. There was plans to wrestle, or the plan was to wrestle at the pay-per-view. I sat and listened to Moxley's Rocky 3 idea. I explained how I'd never seen a Rocky movie. I thought the idea sucked, but if the boss wanted to do it, then whatever. He said he wouldn't lose to me. I'd never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. I just kind of laughed. I asked Tony if this was what he wanted. He said yes. He said he's the boss. So I said, okay, but I need to be cleared first. They kept saying it could just be a squash, so I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that.
Mm.
My health is more important. These are my favorite lines right here. Dave Meltzer is a liar. Chris Jericho is a liar and a stooge. There were plans, but plans always change. But I'll never put a company above my health ever again.
Wow.
There's a lot to digest.
Wow. So I did find the original post.
Okay, go ahead and
All right.
let us know.
Okay, so going back to the original post, what caused all this, Micah? It was this guy in the forum called, his name was Adam Bomb 87. He did business with John Moxley through All Out, which included getting squashed on TV. I find it interesting now. Punk is portrayed as the monster, the likes of which pro wrestling has never seen before. Plenty of wrestlers have gotten into backstage fights or cut public shoot promos. None of them were permanently banished because of it. Players on professional NBA and NFL teams have gotten into fights with teammates, and while they may result in fines and suspensions, they're rarely permanently banished. Too many, geez, this screenshot's really bad, man. Too many fans these days have adopted the mindset that these wrestlers are my friends and want to see everyone get along above all else. The reality is they're not your friends. They're not your friends, and they don't all get along regardless of what they want the audiences to believe publicly. CM Punk, geez, can't what? Won't isn't the first wrestler to behave poorly in a public or Jesus Christ to get along with some of their colleagues. He won't be the last either. Why should he be treated any differently than other headliners were? Geez, okay, so basically that, Micah, because this screenshot is really bad, very blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dave was replying to that.
Okay, so okay. So he was saying that his position on Moxley was correct, that he didn't, yeah, I get what you're saying, that he didn't understand the creative. So Punk ended up deleting that. So, firstly,
Tough guy, huh?
well, I mean, tougher than the Bucks and Omega, apparently. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this off. Let's break this down. The plan was
With
to
what
wrestle.
Meltzer said or Punk?
Well, let's go ahead with Punk because I think the Meltzer thing is basically just kind of a prelude because
Yeah.
the Punk stuff kind of explains it. So, firstly, Punk's never watched any of the Rocky movies, which I haven't either. So I know that was like a travesty to you, yeah.
Terrible.
So taking everything that Punk said like it's true, we'll just say that right now. I'm not saying that it is, but in that world,
Okay.
why do you think that Moxley wouldn't put him over? I can't understand.
I think he wanted to validate his little interim championship run. So he wanted to beat Punk. But my thing is, if Punk wasn't clear to wrestle, and they still let him wrestle anyways, wouldn't that put CM Punk in jeopardy?
That's one of the things that ran through my mind was, okay, if they had him wrestle, and then he came back and got hurt.
Which he did.
Which he did. And I know it wasn't the same area. Does that kind of take away some of this Punk is injury prone talk? Because now we kind of know he was working up into the wire of being cleared.
Jeez, that is crazy if TK just put CM Punk's health on the line just for a meaningless throwaway match on Dynamite, which didn't need to happen, and the pay per view match that really who was clamoring for Moxley versus Punk? Was anybody
I was
did anybody really want to see that?
I mean, I was excited to see it if it was going to be at the pay per view, but I didn't understand why they did the blow off on Dynamite and then had another match 2 weeks later. That didn't make any sense to me.
You figure
I
they
remember
just
we
let Punk
recorded the
come back.
podcast.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, we were recording back then. But why didn't they just have the MJF Moxley stuff happen at the pay per view instead of putting CM Punk, hot shot and CM Punk's return?
Because remember, MJF wasn't back yet. He came back at All Out.
Oh jeez. Uh, I don't know, man. This is and why Jericho catch a stray here? What did Jericho?
Oh, I was
What
waiting
Jericho
for
say?
that one. I think. Okay, so firstly, I got two thoughts packed into this because this is what's weird to me. We both know that we've heard Punk talk and rumors, and he's the world's worst person. He's a locker room cancer. He's horrible. He sucks in the ring. He's old. He's injury prone. Most of those have came out of your mouth, but not just you. Um, why would he reply now? That's the thing that I can't understand unless this one just really pissed him off or caught him on a bad day or it was something he was like, nope, I'm not standing for this. Like, this is not what happened. You know what I
But
mean?
the thing is though, Dave didn't post this in the newsletter or anything like that. This was in a random forum post behind a paywall. Like,
And
why would
Punk
he care?
had to know that if he put it on Instagram, it was going to get screenshotted and go out there.
Of course.
Because we were just
Are
talking
you?
about it off air. Digital footprint.
Yeah.
Anything you do is never deleted.
No, they screen grabbed it at 54 seconds, man. I, does he want to come back?
That's what
Are
I
we
can't figure out.
because Dave did report. I don't even think this was in the newsletter, but he did report that Punk is supposedly on his way back. It's just up to TK to give the go ahead. But all this happened after that, so I don't see that happening now.
The last line is telling to me for that because there were plans, but plans always change. But I'll never put a company above my health ever again. Obviously, that draws comparison to the whole reason he left WWE. But is he saying that as like, I'm never going to do that again because look at what happened? And now, do you think that this is some of what maybe caused his frustration at the All Out press scrum? Because I saw a tweet earlier, I think it was by Trevor Dame. I may be saying that wrong, but it said, I was thinking of a tweet to say that Punk is sitting at home injured and people are saying bad things about him on the internet again. I wonder what could happen. And he said, before I could even officially tweet that, something happened. Because basically, this is the same situation as All Out. He's injured, he's at home, everybody's talking crap about him online, he's got time to stew over it, and then he does something and, in my opinion, defends himself like anybody would do. Because if you were sitting at home and people just talk crap about you every day, you wouldn't be able to stand it for 7 months. I wouldn't. Nobody would. I don't think. So I'm just saying there's a lot of different things that go into this. So he got injured. I'm sure that pissed him off. Then everybody's saying, oh, he don't want to be in AEW. Oh, we don't know if he's going to show up. it's time to give Moxley the belt. Punk doesn't deserve it anymore. He's been sitting all summer. Then he comes back while hurt because TK wants him to, and Moxley has this idea, and he won't lose to him. And he's the commodity. He's the biggest star in AEW. Move over Chris Jericho. You were never that guy. Punk told you to your face. And now he fights Moxley at All Out, does what the boss says, took all the flack, has a really good match at All Out that's underrated because of the stuff that happened after. About to enter this feud with MJF, and then bam, injured again. So, can we not understand why this man would be so pissed off? Because I can.
Yes, I understand why he would be mad, but then again, Micah, you're professional, okay? You're getting paid millions upon millions of dollars just to sit at home. Just don't cause any ripples. Don't tweet anything that's problematic. Keep your mouth shut, and then we'll eventually bring you back to TV. Punk can't do that. He can't. What happened to being a professional? If you're getting paid millions of dollars, man, keep your mouth shut. He has pissed off Chris Jericho, and that because he brought up Chris Jericho's name in the Instagram post.
Stooge.
He's pissed off. He called him a stooge. He pissed off Adam Page. The Bucks got beat up by him at the pay-per-view. Kenny Omega got bit by his dog. Man.
Ace Steel?
Ace Steel. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it was Ace Steel.
Well, his
Look,
dog,
my point,
Ace Steel. He's got that kind of face.
Yeah. Yeah, man, CM Punk's pissed off multiple powerful people in the locker room. Why would they want him back after that? Is he going to apologize?
Well, judging by the looks of this post, I don't think he is. If I had to take a wild guess, I'm not a betting man, but I don't know, man. Well, that's the thing is now everybody's on Twitter, and I know you're not on Twitter. I like our duo because you get the forum Reddit posts and I get the Twitter post. So we get two very different audiences. Because now everybody on Twitter, I don't want him back. Leave that bum out of my promotion. AEW doesn't need him. They're getting hot right now. They're in a stride. Huh? What stride?
800,000 every week. That's the stride.
Man, it's stupid to say that they don't need CM Punk. From any fan perspective, from a company perspective, from Tony Khan's perspective, saying that they don't need CM Punk is stupid. Because...
But, can I play devil's advocate, Micah?
Okay, I'm just saying, the money?
It's not... I mean, are they going to lose their TV deal because CM Punk's not on the show?
Well, it don't look as impressive.
TNT and TBS is giving them another hour of television. I don't really think they inherently need CM Punk. Would it make the show a lot better? Sure it would. He would have some good promos. He'd probably have a few decent matches. Yeah, okay, he'll make the show a little better. But the bottom line is, Micah, they sold out Toronto Air Canada Center in less than an hour with no matches announced. Do they really need CM Punk?
I think if you're a businessman and wrestling is a business, it's stupid not to bring him back. Because I hate to tell you, but he will put more butts in seats than the Bucks or Kenny Omega. And it's hard to say all time, maybe. Chris Jericho at this stage, CM Punk is putting more butts in seats. More seats and butts. That's what I almost said. Punk's a bigger draw than Moxley.
Chris Jericho's still a big star. Come on now.
No, He looks like
Listen,
an air
come on.
fryer, Ryan.
I know he does, but come on now. Chris Jericho is still a bigger star than Chris Jericho was a star during the hottest point of wrestling. Come on now.
But he was never the guy.
But he was still on. I mean, he was still a pretty featured wrestler during the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars as a whole. Man, come on.
It's debate. There's at least a discussion to be had on who's a bigger star. Definitely right now. All time, okay, I can see your argument. But right now, I think Punk's a bigger star than Jericho. And I think that eats him up.
Would more people buy tickets to see CM Punk? Sure, at this point, but that doesn't mean he's a bigger star than Chris Jericho. Come on.
I don't know. I'll have to disagree. I don't think Chris Jericho could sell out the United Center on rumors.
Bro, they just sold out the Air Canada Center with nothing announced.
No, I know, but that's a pay-per-view. But Punk just sold out a Rampage.
But then again, Punk's been going for 8 years. Come on. He didn't sell out the United Center every week.
Did Jericho sell it out when that Save Us Y2J vignettes were playing?
Oh, which ones?
Oh, well, yeah, that's probably not specific. 2008?
Oh, okay, because 99, I think they were in the All-State Arena during 1999 when he debuted with the Save Us Y2J. But that's beside the point. Point is, Micah, Chris Jericho is still a really, really big star. Let's not say he's a scrub out here. He's not Action Andretti, man.
I'm not saying he's a scrub. I'm just saying I respect Chris Jericho, the wrestler. The person, I respect the person, but his actions make me not I don't know how to explain that. Because, like, I would still buy a meet and greet to meet Chris Jericho because he's a legend. But, like, he's very full of himself. He thinks everything he does is the greatest thing of all time. He thinks that he invented fans singing entrance music, and he thinks that he's the biggest star in AEW, and I'm sorry, that's just not the case anymore. You remember that time all those NBA fans turned to AEW and they were like, oh my god, this is Chris Jericho?
Yeah, I do, yeah. That was pretty funny.
They didn't say that about Punk.
Well, the NBA fans didn't tune in to go see CM Punk. That was after a playoff game, and Dynamite played right after that. That's why it was a bunch of NBA fans watching. But I see your point.
Also, the reason that, and I meant to say this earlier, but I forgot. The reason I think Punk threw him in there is because I think Jericho is one of those guys that leaks information to Meltzer.
That's been a rumor going back a while now.
Well, it makes sense. All the positive PR Jericho gets, and then the only like bigger star than Jericho that wrestles full time in AEW is Punk. And what happens? They spread false rumors about him. False according to Punk. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And the shoe fits.
All the positive stuff Meltzer says about Jericho, like he never says anything he does is terrible, even when it is terrible, and he always gives them a favorable match rating when he does his little star rating nonsense. Yeah, man, I can see him being biased towards one Jericho, but then again, Micah, you gotta stay quiet during this. You can't post that.
I agree. Well, I put something on Twitter that said, I don't agree with the way that he went about doing so, but at the root of all of this, going back to All Out, going back to the Hangman Adam Page promo where he called him coward, whatever. Is this not just him defending himself? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he was going about it the right way, because it's not the way I would do it. But also, I'm not confrontational like that. But
Well, it's man, I don't know. He's being really sensitive, in my opinion. John Cena got a lot of flack online during Super Cena stuff. You didn't see him go out there and tweet that "F you, Dave," and you don't know what you're talking about. When Dave may have said something about Cena pulling backstage politics, he didn't ever say anything like that. Can you imagine that being done? No, because it's the thing about being professional.
I agree. Like I said, I'm not agreeing with the way that he did it. I'm just saying, is it not him defending himself?
Being sensitive, you mean? Yeah,
Oh, come on now. You just don't like Mr.
sensitive.
Phil because he don't wrestle for the E.
Well, you don't wrestle for anyone.
Oh, well, when you put it like that. Um, you know, let's go ahead. Do you think you'll see CM Punk in the AEW ring again?
If you would have asked me 24 hours ago, I would have said, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he might be there.
Matter of
He
fact,
might be there. Yeah, I think we were talking about it this morning.
yeah, I sent you the Meltzer thing, and you said, let me find it. Come on now. Oh, you said, do they hold off until Forbidden Door, or will he come out on Dynamite? So that's pretty much a lock that, yeah, he's coming back, but just when? Well, I don't know. I really hope he does, because some of these people are delusional that Dynamite's in a stride, but we'll get to that on the
He's
next
got.
episode.
Oh yeah, we're gonna unleash on Dynamite with old Viking and Kenny Omega's match that everybody creamed themselves about. But yeah, man, I don't know if Punk's gonna be back now. I don't know. I don't think so. If I had to put money on it, I would say not.
I'm still, call me delusional. I'm still holding out hope that he will.
If he apologizes to the locker room, then he might be able to come back. But I just don't. I don't think Punk's that guy to apologize.
It's really funny that when Punk first got there, I was like, this is the perfect environment for CM Punk. Like, this is a company or an employee friendly company, and they can let loose and do whatever. Yet the further we go into this, I almost don't think that this is the company for CM Punk,
Jeez.
because, well, the fan base is so, like, look, I like AEW. I have given AEW a lot of my money to go to their shows and watch their cable shows and buy their t-shirts and buy their action figures and the whole 9 yards with the merch. And I have really enjoyed the show, minus the past couple months. I mean, it's not like, I'm just grading nails on a chalkboard or anything, but it's just not the same recently. But the fan base is so aggravating, because if you disagree with anything that happens, you hate AEW and you deserve to die.
Well, it's Tony Khan feeding into it too, man.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not disagreeing.
if you say anything negative about AEW on Twitter, he might quote tweet you and say that you're a bot and you're not real, and that he has a study about it and he's gonna release it one day. Bro, it's just I don't know, man. He's feeding this toxic fan base.
I just hate it when if WWE has something good, and I have not liked WWE since, like, I don't even know when. When did Daniel Bryan win the belt?
2014. That drove you away?
No, not. I'm just saying, like, I was growing up and I was getting out of it, and I was just aggravated. And me and my friend Mark quit watching. And so I got back into wrestling through AEW, and I haven't liked WWE really until Triple H started taking over. I like certain aspects, but for the most part, no. But if you compliment WWE, oh God, you don't like wrestling. You don't know wrestling. If you only watch WWE or you only watch AEW, well, you might as well not be a wrestling fan at all. You didn't watch
Yeah.
the ICW show that happened and broadcast in front of 3,000 people on cable, on Access TV? Oh, come on. You don't like real wrestling. Like, come on now. We can give compliments where they're due to each company, whether it be AEW, whether it be WWE, whether it be Impact, anything like that. It doesn't. You don't have to be like a cult for AEW. You don't have to be that way for WWE either.
It's a lot of gatekeeping wrestling fans, and I don't know if this is a fact or not, but it seems to be more on the AEW side for me, at least. If you go online and compliment a match on Raw, you'll get people saying, "Oh, you should have seen that match on Dynamite or Rampage. They had an even better match. Who cares about Raw?" Like, bro, just let me enjoy what I like. What, can we not do that anymore?
No, you have to like what the majority likes. It's AEW or nothing.
You have to like this match because it happened in front of 200 people, and Dave Meltzer gave it 6.5 stars, and it was a match in Japan. I don't know, man. It's just toxic wrestling fan bases. Nobody hates wrestling fans more than wrestling fans.
Yep. It's like Star Wars, but worse. That's what I always tell people.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, actually. Yeah.
Well, because, I don't know if you like Star Wars, to be honest. I don't think that's ever came up between us. But, man, the fan base for that is horrible. And it's the same way here.
Yeah, it's you can't really you can't compare it to any sports either because I don't know, man. I follow the NBA a lot, and if I compliment a player, I'm not gonna get bombarded with a bunch of people saying, "What? You should go watch this player in Europe. He's so much better." Those are where the real basketball players are from. Like you don't see that, man. I don't know.
It's weird. And I think that people get a sense of like they're a part of the company because they've supported it since day one and they've been fans, and like I understand that, and you can have your opinions, but don't attack people just because they have a different opinion, or don't be like, "Oh, you don't like AEW. I bet you like WWE. I bet you only watch WWE." Why is that necessarily an insult? If that's what you like, that's what you like. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say. We're far off on a tangent, but
Oh yeah, we are.
all in all, Mr. Brooks has been off of TV for 7 months and yet is still the front of wrestling news headlines.
Which happens first? Punk comes back to wrestling, or AEW releases the video game?
Uh, Punk comes back.
Really,
I think so.
bro? What's the name of the game? Fight Forever.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Fight in development forever. Hey, like what I did there?
I see what you did. I don't know if I like it, but I see what you did. Oh, like I don't know. I just seen positive Punk comments today on Twitter, and
Yeah.
they would have like one like, and then the people that are like, "I hope CM Punk never wrestles again." It's like 4,000 likes. Do people not realize that they begged for this man to come back for like 8 years? And then you
I
get
was
it,
one of them.
and you treat him like crap, and you say all this stuff behind his back. And I'm not saying that what he did was good, but people don't understand that wrestling journalism, and mainly bad wrestling journalism, put him in that direction?
It's a lot of bad wrestling journalists. It's a lot of people that report false information online, and it's very frustrating when you want a legitimate story. You can't. Man, there was a guy floating around that they said that the Bray Wyatt left the company because of creative problems, and then everything came out later on that said no, that's not the case at all. And people ran with that. That was the news story for a whole entire half a day.
Because that's the speed things move.
Yeah, man, just come on, man. Can we be better than that?
That's what I don't know. That's one thing like that I don't think that we'll do here. I mean, I'm not gonna say never because maybe I don't know what the future holds for the Scoop Slam podcast. But personally, I don't think we're going to be a news source. I would rather just be an opinion source because I don't want to catch the flag and I don't want to be called a liar about anything, nor do I want to report things because I think it will get me in good favor with wrestlers or good favor with, certain subsections of companies or this, that, and the other. Like, would I love to have interviews with wrestlers on this podcast? That would be great. But I'm not going to not say what I think or how I feel about a show or something because I don't mean that disrespectful to the person playing the character. But as a viewer, as a consumer, as the person that has to eat the food, I can tell you if it tastes like crap. I don't mean that disrespectful toward the cook. I'm just saying the food that he cooks sucks. So,
Well, if that cook floats me a 6-digit check, I mean, I might, I might tell you the food tastes pretty good, man.
well,
If TK calls us and tells us we need you at the next post pay-per-view press conference, and we need you to talk good about AEW. I don't know, man. I might say a couple compliments. I don't know. That's just me.
hey Jericho, great match. I really love your work, man. So what's
Hey, your
next
match
for
was my
you?
favorite
Yeah, I would say that 2023 has been your year, Chris. What's next, man? It's everything you do is great.
Hey, your band is just on a
Oh, come on.
just writing all these hits, man. I
You
love your
can't
band.
you can't stretch the truth that far. Anyways, speaking of money moves, we got a article from Forbes. This will be the last rumor since we spent so long on the Punk stuff, which I expected. This is a Forbes article, and this is speaking about the highest paid wrestler in WWE. Assuming, I don't know that to be fact. I don't have an inside source. You might. It's the WWE.
I might. Like, I'm in on the board meetings.
Well, I mean, you act like it.
I might have a few stocks in the company.
Anyways, Roman Reigns reportedly taking significant break from WWE after WrestleMania 39. According to WrestleVotes, the undisputed Universal Champion is slated for a significant break following WrestleMania, a hiatus. A hiatus. Maybe I need to take a hiatus that could potentially extend all the way to SummerSlam in August. He will defend both of the titles at Mania, but despite that match setting the perfect stage for Reigns to lose the championships he's held, or that's worded very weird, but despite that he will lose the championships he's held for well over 2 years, those plans are not certain. Okay, so anyways, we get the gist of that without the weird wording. What do you think?
You called this.
Yeah.
You called it.
I didn't want to say I told you so, but I told you so.
I give you some credit. That was we probably talked about this before, but it's just a shame that when he's hitting his stride as a gimmick and his on-screen persona, he's hitting his stride, he's getting the biggest reactions he's ever gotten, and he's hardly here, and he could take a couple month long hiatus after WrestleMania. When they're going to some pretty big new markets after WrestleMania with the show in Puerto Rico for Backlash and the London show, the first UK, well, not UK because they had one last year, the first pay-per-view they had in London in a long time. they're having that for Money in the Bank. So I don't know, man. Roman taking the time off. I hate to see it. Hate to see it.
I really wonder how WWE feels. I mean, I'm sure they're giving him the time. That's not what I mean. But ultimately, he's
Yeah,
their biggest consistent draw. Um, not that
Cody.
I mean Brock I would say is a bigger draw, obviously. You know, the guys
Cena.
that can call back, Cena, but Roman's still
I
semi
think Cody is.
active.
I think Cody is that he's at that level, or at least a little bit under it. He said, man, he does a lot of business for them. He sells a lot of merch. He moves a lot of tickets when he gets announced for shows. I'm not gonna say Cody isn't a draw.
Okay, let me ask you this. Roman Roman has rode the lightning for 2 years now, almost 1,000 days as champion, and he's pretty much been the head honcho for most of the years that he's been there, but definitely these past two.
Yeah,
Do you think Cody can ride that lightning that long? Because you know these ultra babyface gimmicks sour aside from Cena.
but I don't think Cody would be. I don't think he would be hell bent on not turning heel like he was in AEW. I think they could turn him heel in WWE. He would play ball.
I think he'd be better as a heel, personally. He just looks
Oh
like
yeah,
a heel.
he did some good work as a heel in Impact and dang, what was he? I think it was just Impact. He was a heel. Oh,
Global
ROH. He
Force.
did some good work in. No, not Global Force. Come on, man. Nobody's seen that. Oh, ROH and Impact. He did some really good stuff as a heel. I think that's all he was in Impact and ROH was a heel.
He, to me, the most interested I've ever been in Cody was Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Really?
That was to me, that was the most interesting version of Cody Rhodes. Well, I say
You
that.
don't like this one?
Well, aside from this one, because this one's main event, the other one was just mid card. But I mean, that was including AEW and everything. But obviously, I didn't watch his independent run because I wasn't watching wrestling. I didn't get back into it till like 2021. But where was I going with this? When he split and he was teaming with Sandow, I like that too. But to me, that was the most interesting Cody had been, and all of his best work was being a heel. Even now, the suits and the cheeky smile and the dyed hair and the neck tattoo, he just seems really full of himself. And that could be true, that
Yeah.
could not be true, but it definitely would work for a heel.
He's, but the younger fan bases really, really like him, man.
Well, that's like Cena. He was that ultra
But
baby face.
he doesn't wear the bright colors like Cena. He doesn't have the new big T-shirt and all the wristbands. He doesn't have any of that.
Yeah,
He comes out in a suit and tells us that
his dad died.
he has to finish the story. Yeah, like, come on, man.
Oh, what?
My
I
thing
can
is,
say that.
he doesn't. I don't know, man. He doesn't seem like he should be. I don't know where I was going with that. Well, oh, Cody. Oh, Roman taking a hiatus. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we strayed
That
very
was.
far away from that.
Yeah, that, hate to see it, man. Hate to see it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be good for really anybody. Um,
Mm.
and the
But
bloodline
then
stuff is
you got to remember that Roman did have cancer a couple years ago, guys. So maybe, knock on wood here, but maybe he's having complications. I don't know.
that's true. And I mean, he's had it twice now, so that could definitely be a I've never thought about that. That could be a reason why he's kind of hanging them so early, I guess,
Yeah,
because I'm sure his body's been through a lot more than most of the guys.
yeah. It's you sometimes forget about it that he had that whole thing in 2018, wasn't it? 2018.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Oh yeah, I think it was 2018 because he won the title um, from Brock at SummerSlam in 2018, and then he held it for like a month, and he had to vacate it, and then that's when Ambrose turned on Seth that same night.
Oh yeah, because I remember Moxley not wanting to do that at all.
I thought it was great, but then
Well,
after that, it was terrible, awful.
really, was that when he did that germaphobe gimmick?
Yes,
Oh
terrible,
god, yeah.
awful.
But let me hit you with this, and then we'll close up the Roman Reigns stuff as well as all the rumors for the week. It's funny because I was talking to you the other day, and I was like, there's really just not like a ton to talk about. And then, bam, CM Punk comes right back into the forefront of our minds. But let me hit you with this. SummerSlam 2023, who do you think Roman Reigns will be fighting?
Jey Uso.
You think I called it again? Months ahead?
Did you call that?
I did. I said I think. I said if I had the book. Oh, if I had the book. That Roman would drop the belts to Cody. He would leave for a while, come back and face Jay at SummerSlam.
Wow.
There
Well, I guess you did. I guess you did call it. Unless Kenny Omega shows up, I don't know, man. Jay White what's Goldberg doing? Who's he?
Oh man, we didn't even
Who's
talk about that. Whose side's he on? But yeah, I hate to see it because the bloodline stuff's the most interesting on TV, and we'll get to that in just a second. But all in all, now that we kind of touched on why he may be leaving, I hope that Roman is healthy and is okay no matter what happens. But I still would like to see it on my TV. So we will move to Monday Night Raw, the Scoop Slam Review Edition. If this is your first time listening to the Scoop Slam podcast, I'm going to go over a quick rundown. Do these on all the shows. So you got your positives and your negatives, your ups and your downs that you think about the show. We here call them scoops and slams. Your scoops are your ups. Your slams are your negatives. To open up Monday Night Raw, Sammy and Kevin Owens came out. KO came out first. Sammy came out later. Both roaring pops as they're, aside from Cody, the most over baby faces in the company right now. And they come down, cut a promo, talk about, the Usos. The Usos come out. They do a little bit of arguing back and forth. Sammy and KO challenge them. They decline. Then they change their mind and accept. And then they have a weird brawl and disperse to the back. So I thought it was an alright opening segment. I'll start us off with the scoops because you normally start us off. So I'll take the floor this time. The one scoop that I had was that I thought the crowd was really behind Sammy and KO. I liked when Kevin Owens called Sammy his brother. He was talking to Jay and Jimmy, and he said, my brother and me are going to fight you and your brother at WrestleMania, and we're going to take those tag team titles off of you. And I thought it was a good way to truly show unity. It was little, but it made a difference to me.
The crowd went nuclear when he said that too. They were hot, man, when he challenged them to that match at WrestleMania. KO, man, he's when he starts yelling at me, he's really good on the mic.
He's alright.
Man, you can't beat those old school yell at me promos. Those are the best.
Tear in my eye.
Tear in my eye. There you go. I don't think the Usos. I don't think they get enough credit for the work they do on the mic, especially Jay.
Yeah, Jay is really good. Jimmy's not bad, but I remember at one of the Raws we reviewed, it may have been last week or week before last, where Jimmy was out there by himself with Solo. I was like, But Jay is better by himself. Together, though, I think they're probably the best promo in the business, tag team wise, aside from FTR.
Yeah, and they did a lot of good stuff on 2016, 2017 SmackDown too, man. They had some heat promos back then too. They've been good for a while. And I don't think I could have envisioned these guys with the face paint and the little chant they did at the beginning of their entrance in 2010. I couldn't picture these guys being this right now at this point.
It's weird to think about that they're the same person, I guess. Or
When you
people.
look at them, when you look at them in 2010 and Cody Rhodes with his no knee pads and his
Ugh.
baby face, and now they're one of the focal points of the company 13 years later. Crazy to think about.
Yeah, and or really, a lot of people mention it, but like the fact that the Shield basically made the wrestling business for the past couple of years, whether you like it or not. Like Moxley dominated AEW and Roman, but even before then, they were all big stars in WWE. But like Roman's been on top for years, and if it hadn't been Roman, it's normally Seth. Aside from Brock, my voice is going out for some reason. But yeah, it's crazy. You know, when I was growing up and watching it, to see the fact that those guys are the focal point now, and it's crazy to think, you know, the Theories and the Braun Breakers will be that same way 10 years from now. We'll be like, oh my God, do you remember when Braun Breaker wore that really bright singlet all the time? I'm sure he'll be different, you know, 10 years from now.
He's got a ways to go. I saw NXT last Tuesday, and he's got a ways to go. But man, are the Shield? Is that what the Nexus could have been? Do you ever think about that?
Oh man, yeah.
They could have been Darren Young and Ryback ruling the show 13 years later.
Oh, you
If
had to
not
pull like
for,
the worst too.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, it could have been these guys running the company, but yet that didn't work. But somehow the Shield worked. It's crazy.
It's funny in wrestling what catches sometimes or what doesn't. But I mean, also the Shield didn't get jobbed out to John Cena in a match that was so clearly set up for the Nexus
Yeah,
to win. But that's besides the point.
I was heated,
Oh, I
bro.
was
12-year-old
pissed.
bro. You weren't a Super Cena fan?
No, I didn't like John Cena. Even when he was like at his peak, I guess it just wasn't my favorite. The only night I remember really cheering for Cena was Money in the Bank 2011 because I was like a jaded 9-year-old and I thought that Punk really was going to leave with the title. And then my brother was I remember my brother like putting his hand on my shoulder and was like, you understand that the belt will still be in WWE, right? Like this is all isn't. I knew wrestling
Whoa,
was
hold up,
fake, but
there, buddy. I did not know that, and I was following a lot of the online stuff. I really did think he was gonna leave the company with the title.
oh, was that the online dirt sheets then? Because I didn't know.
Maybe I just didn't follow the right dirt sheets, but I didn't. I thought it was all real, man. I thought he was gonna leave and never come back. And then
That
he
dang,
showed up in an independent show with the title, and I don't know, man. I got hooked.
that dang faulty journalism strikes again.
They worked me, man. They worked me.
I was thinking about this today. This is a extreme sidebar. Well, I promise we'll get back to Sammy and KO. Is Jim Cornette like the J. Jonah Jameson of pro wrestling? I don't know how much you know about Spider-Man, but is that a fair comparison?
That went directly over my head. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but I don't know. What do you mean?
You know the old guy who does the newspaper, and he's like, Spider-Man's a menace.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I never thought of that. Yeah, I guess that'd be fair.
it's kind of funny to me because I guess like I'm not saying that Cornette is wrong, or I'm not saying that J. Jonah Jameson is, well, I think J. Jonah Jameson is painted to be wrong in the show, but I thought it was kind of funny because like there's that old man screaming at the sky and like people just dog him and nobody talks. I don't know. I don't know. It made more sense to me while I was driving to work at like 6:30 in the morning, but you know those tired thoughts aren't with me anymore. So we'll move on.
Hey, can you imagine if the Shield would have went with uh Chris Hero instead of Roman? Like
Oh
CM Punk
God.
would
Yeah. That was
have was
you
an
know
L from Mr. Brooks.
however, if
Oh
this
God.
was still 2018, would we still be saying that?
Roman was still a big star in 2018. Come on, man.
Yeah, but he wasn't good. Suckering
What?
Succotash. Do you remember that, Ryan?
That was 2015. Come on, man.
Do you remember when he winked at the camera?
He does that now still. You don't remember he did that to Cody on SmackDown?
Yeah, but that's different now. Now it's cheeky.
God, that was cheeky. But can you imagine if they would have went with Chris Hero?
Speaking of, what is he doing now?
Well, he was with NXT UK, but then they shut all that down. I think he left a little bit before that. I don't know. I don't know. I know he's married to. No, that's Cesaro. Never mind. I was gonna say he was married to the head trainer um, at the PC, but no, that's Cesaro.
Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. Why was he in NXT UK? He's not British, is he?
Bro, they were trying to find something to do with him. He's good at training the new guys, the young guys. He's a good trainer, but you can't put him on television looking like that, man. And I know
Well,
he has a thyroid problem, and that's not his fault. But come on, man.
I was gonna say because I mean, like, I haven't seen the guy in God knows how
Oh God.
long.
Oh Jesus.
What happened?
So
Because
his
he wasn't skinny, or he wasn't like bigger on the independent scene.
he had a thyroid problem, so he gained a lot of weight. But his last tenure with the company in WWE, he was wearing a basketball jersey and trunks. It looked
Oh
bad, man. I don't
God.
know. Yeah, he was a little, hefty, a lot hefty. And he could move good. He had good matches, but it's a it's an upper body business, brother. I don't know, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of basketball jersey and gym shorts, Austin Theory versus Montez Ford followed. Man, that transition was laid right in my
Wow,
hands. Call you
there you go.
Tom Brady. Um, yeah, I mean, this match happened. Um, Theory picked up the win. It was bad by no means, but to me, it was just here. You got any scoops?
Yeah, I thought it was a fun little match. It lasted. It wasn't bad, man. They had a couple good matches on the show. You didn't pay much attention to this?
I mean, I watched it. I just didn't have a whole lot of takeaways. Montez had a really cool, well, I hate to say spot all the time, but a really cool moment where like I think Theory went for maybe like a spear or a tackle or something, and he like jumped over him and did like a dive, and it looked really cool to me. But I mean,
Bro, he's an explosive athlete.
oh, he's gonna go
Like
somewhere one day.
the stuff he does in the ring looks so much different than everybody else. Just the way he moves and like his hang time and stuff. He's definitely. I know we gush over Montez every single week, but if they mess this guy up, I don't know what to say. He's got something.
And he's got charisma. I think he could use a little work on the mic, but I think a heel turn would
Yeah,
would be
unleash
good
it.
for him.
Yeah, he has something. It's there, but you gotta mold that clay. You know.
Yeah.
You know what bothered me,
Go ahead.
and this isn't even a slam or anything, but I think Theory's finisher is kind of weak.
The A-Town down.
Yeah, man, I don't like that as a finisher.
It is a little awkward. I don't know. It's not my
Yeah,
favorite. I'll agree with you. I don't hate it, but it's just I don't know. I
it's
think
weird.
I think a lot of wrestling now has gotten to a point where like guys can't. I mean, shoot, the DDT doesn't work anymore because it's been done, and you've got to come up with new moves. But I mean, good lord, how many things can you do to a person? You know what I'm saying?
It's very innovative, but it just doesn't look devastating. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes you should dig up the past and see if you can find a finisher that worked for somebody in the '90s. Because I don't know, man. That finisher looks weak.
you got a. Speaking of, WWE 2K23 came out recently. So when you create a wrestler, do you have a go-to finisher you put on them?
Oh man, I usually just download the community creations.
Oh, you don't make like a custom guy
No,
for you?
I don't do that anymore. No,
Not a little Ryan?
no, not since SBR '07 and '08. That
Oh,
was the last time.
nah, I always make a
Yeah,
custom character.
nah. I like to keep mine realistic, man.
Well, I don't insert them in like universe mode. I just use them. Well, I say that. I usually what I do, and I would do the same thing with NBA. I would make a version with like me in it, and then a version without me in it. So I
Yeah.
don't know. But anyways, I'll say what I use. I always use the reverse neck breaker, Rick Rude's old finisher.
Ah, the Rude Awakening.
Yeah, because nobody uses it anymore.
It's a good finisher.
Looks devastating. But
I think too many guys got submissions too now.
yeah, everybody wants to tap someone out, or no, everybody wants to make somebody pass out, not tap out, because
I
everybody
hate
wants to
that.
be stone cold. Well, anyways, you got any slams for this one?
The Theory Cena match was better in my head when I booked it. This is not what I imagined. Cena shows up one week, cooks them, and then we don't see Cena again.
Is he not
Never
showing?
again?
Is he not showing up anymore before WrestleMania?
No, no. He's not advertised for any dates. And if he was going to show up, they would advertise that.
Oh
He's not going to be there.
no!
Bro, there's only one Raw left.
Ugh, that weekend's gonna be horrible. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying, that's a lot of wrestling to watch in one weekend.
Oh, yeah. I got Saturday and Sunday off, so I'm going to need that.
You already asked off for it.
Oh, bro, I anticipated it. I was like, man, I better get a day off because if not, I'm gonna be in Micah's driveway arguing till 3 in the morning, and I'll be have to call out anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was expecting more, and I was really excited to see this, and I'm excited to see the match. But the build, I
It's
think,
non-existent.
yeah, and I think it's kind of like we said a couple weeks ago when they actually had the in-ring interview. I don't, you like get this image of Cena in your mind, and you're like, he's a big star. I want to see this. I want to see him again because he makes you think of the old days. And then he comes back, and you realize why you didn't like him because he may lose, but he doesn't really put talent over.
He doesn't sell any insults either. He just sits there and smiles.
How was Punk the only? How did Punk get over on him?
Bro, I don't know. That's the only guy I can remember.
Like, and not even, I don't know, there's been a couple guys that, like, got the rub, but no, Punk, like, burst into the main event scene and pretty much stayed there after the Cena feud.
Well, okay, so AJ Styles kind of did the same when he got brought into the company in 2016 too. That's the only other time I can remember. He actually did beat Cena clean. Clean. That
Well,
was the only person I can remember doing that during that era. Like no outside interference, no ref bumps, no. Um, Phenomenal forearm, 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring at SummerSlam. It was a big moment. That was a great match too.
well, I need to go back and watch some of that stuff because I don't know. You compliment 2016 SmackDown a whole lot.
Oh, it's great.
Well, we'll move on. It was on. Nothing bad to say about Montez and Theory. Bad things to say about the build, though.
Most definitely. They put Theory over Strong for 2 straight weeks.
That's true. They could.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do a little more of that before this feud. I think instead of having him randomly feud with Seth and cash in and do all that weird crap they did with him for the past couple months. But we'll move on. The Bloodline was backstage.
Bloodline.
And honestly looking at this, oh, never mind, it came back to me. I read my other scoop. Okay, I was gonna say I don't remember what happened. So they're sitting backstage, and Jimmy and Roman are talking a little bit, and then he tells them to leave, and then we cut to commercial. Everybody leave but Jay. We cut to commercial. Roman and Jay have their talk, exchanging, what happened, where were you, you were my family, but they make up, and Roman says, I love you, you're my brother, man, and Jay's like, I love you too, all that good stuff.
No. Jay didn't say I love you back. He just kind of walked out the room when he said that.
He didn't?
No. Roman said I love you to Jay, and it was kind of like, you remember when he said that to Sammy, and Sammy was on his side after that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was his last ditch effort to try to keep Jay on his side, and I took it as it's not going to work this time. Jay is still hesitant to trust Roman.
Interesting. No, I
didn't. He walked out.
Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. I don't know. I was watching it because it's the Bloodline. I don't know. Maybe. Anyways, your scoops for this segment. What you got?
Jay and Roman got some unfinished business after Mania. I think this was your scoop, but I had it down in a different wording when I had my notes. But anyway, yeah, Jay and Roman, there's some tension there, and it looks like it's going to build to something afterward. They're just planting the seeds right now, and I'm here for it, man. It was good.
Well, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't have any inside sources, but Roman is slated to be at SummerSlam. He's scheduled for SummerSlam. So I'm just saying, he could get his long break, come back, in July, start building this back up with Jay. I'm just saying, I think it's the best move for Roman after Mania. Become a commodity, become a Brock, come back to put people over or be in a really good feud. He's obviously going to be at WrestleMania 40. Maybe we can get Brock, or maybe we can get Rock and Roman then with no titles. I don't think it needs the titles, but
I think he's done.
You think Rock's done?
Yeah, I think Rock's. If he ain't coming back for this one, it's over, man.
Yeah, I fear the same thing. This one was perfectly set up for him to be there.
But then again, The Rock's daughter is still in NXT, so who knows what could change when she gets brought up to the main roster. Maybe he wants to tag with his daughter, man. I don't know. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah.
You don't think Roman and Cody would have a rematch?
Maybe. Well, no, because I was gonna say if they're gonna do that, they might as well do it in Puerto Rico at Backlash and then just leave it. You know what I mean?
That'd be a big match.
I'd see it again. Well, depending. Depends on the taste they leave in my mouth after WrestleMania.
I think they're gonna do it. Maybe it'll get added to the WrestleMania Backlash card. I don't know.
Whoa. You can drop the WrestleMania. I think it's just Backlash again.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he changed that.
It's a stupid name, anyways.
Yeah,
The only scoop that I had was, well, I mean, I agree with you on that one. I liked that they teased because Jimmy was like, "I'm sick of of people trying to tear our family apart," and yeah, I don't remember his wording, but basically the let me construe this before I misconstrue this. He basically kind of said some stuff that made you think he was talking about Roman Reigns. He was like, I'm not going to take orders from anybody or have somebody trying to tell me what to do with my family. And he was like, and that's why we're going to get Sammy at WrestleMania. So it kind of teased that he was talking about Roman at first because Roman kind of looked at him like, huh?
And did you notice that Jimmy is the one that said no to the challenge for KO and Sammy, but Jay is the one that accepted it?
Yeah. And I seen a weird theory the other day, but it kind of makes sense. Watch the brawls between Jay and Sammy. I don't know if you've noticed this. They kind of either like don't hit each other and just kind of pull at each other, or I don't know if it's just bad execution and they're not meaning to do this, but it kind of looks like they're pulling punches.
Hmm. Be
So
something.
I wonder. I wonder.
It'd be something. Before Jay turned on Sammy a couple weeks ago, he pulled him in close and like he whispered something to him. I don't know,
Yeah,
man. Maybe it is something. That'd be a good turn to the story.
because then you could have Jay screw over Jimmy at Mania, and basically tell the Bloodline, I'm out. And then Jimmy and Jay can have a feud for the next couple months. Have a blow off at I don't know what pay per views in June.
Money in
Money
the
in the
Bank.
Bank.
Yeah.
Maybe have a blow off there, or have Jay have Jay having already finished the feud with Jimmy in the Money in the Bank match, and Roman screws him, setting up a match for SummerSlam.
What do you do with Solo? See, man, it's a lot of directions they can go in. This is gonna be a good summer.
Yeah, it depends. I want to see how they get out of the Bloodline after Mania, especially with Roman taking a big break. What happens with the Usos, and like you said, what happens to Solo? Because if they don't do it right, he could very easily just become another guy who's treading water.
Yeah.
I didn't have any slams for this segment. However, our next segment, I did have some for Seth Rollins and Logan Paul for Impulsive TV. Logan did the cheap heat stuff, and he cut an alright promo. He's not my favorite. Seth did his god awful, intolerable laughing backstage and his dancing and his I don't know what outfit he had on this week. I mean, it's the same thing every week.
He kind of looked like you remember Rico from like the early 2000s?
Oh no.
He had like an outfit on it looked like what he would wear in like 2002.
I
I
didn't
thought
think
it was
about that. But well, you're not wrong. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. You know what you're gonna get with Seth. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I knew you would like this though, so I'll let you go ahead and you just bring it home on the scoops.
fine. I thought it was innovative the way they did it. Seth out there in the production truck, he cut Logan Paul's mic I thought that was innovative, a way to build up a Mania match. You know what? They're thinking outside the box. And Logan had a pretty funny line. He had a couple good ones in this segment. He was talking about Seth, and he said, "How can I be afraid of a guy named Seth?" Which is pretty true, Mike. I mean, have you ever met an intimidating Seth?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't say that I have.
the least intimidating name for a main event wrestler. But uh, and then Logan, when Seth's music hit, you know the sing songy thing the crowd does.
Yeah,
When
the thing that Jericho invented.
yeah, yeah, thank Jericho did. Logan was talking over it and just telling the crowd to shut up. I thought that was pretty funny.
I see something about him singing over the music bothers me because it's not.
I thought it was realistic though. Like if
It
you were in
is.
that
It
situation,
definitely is.
if you were in that situation, wouldn't you be a little like, bro, shut up, man, get up out of here.
Yeah, but it makes me think that like Logan hasn't watched wrestling in his life when I hear him do that.
But you
I
are
don't
the
know
one.
why.
No, man, you're the one that always says that it's formulaic and guys cut the same type of promo. When Logan Paul does his own thing that's innovative, you hate on that. What do you want?
Not for Logan Paul to be on my TV screen.
I think he's really good, man. I like him more than Seth.
Oh, uh, I don't want to say no, but I don't. I don't want to say yes.
Look,
I don't
man,
know. It's like comparing two turds. Which one do you like more? The one that's browner or the one that's longer?
one has 100 million social media followers, and one is named Seth. Come on, man. Logan Paul he's a mainstream celebrity that gets it, and he looks like a professional athlete. What? I don't see why you're still on the Logan Paul hate train. And he has good matches, Micah.
It's because he's Logan Paul.
Oh
That's
man,
why. He's just a pretentious, just
sure, but they're not telling you to
douche.
cheer him. Well, yes, but they're not telling you to cheer him. He's actually embracing the heel heat.
But it's something's not clicking for me. I can't put my finger on it, but something.
Maybe he's just being a good heel because you really hate him. Maybe you thought about
Yeah, but
that.
it's not it's not good heat. It's go away heat.
No, nonsense. All heat is good heat, like you said.
Did I say that?
Sure you did when MJF poured that drink on the little kid.
You have no proof, sir. All right, so the slams. I'm just over this feud. To be honest with you, I have not enjoyed a single segment out of this. I don't like
Hey,
Seth. I don't really like Logan, and I don't like this current iteration of the Miz. Well, that
oh
same
come
thing for
on,
Seth.
what did Miz do?
Well, he's a stooge. Like, I just catch a stray like Jericho did. Um, it ain't for me. I'll keep watching it, but I'm gonna say the same thing every week because I've been saying it for the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Maybe we should have got that Cena Logan Paul match.
Oh, you know what?
Then you wouldn't have to deal with Logan every week because he wouldn't be there.
Yep,
Cena wasn't gonna be there.
and we wouldn't have to deal with Austin Theory getting jabronied.
Yeah, jabroni.
Jabron,
Well,
whatever, same word.
yeah. So your slam was basically you just didn't feel this whole segment.
Yeah, the same thing it is every week. Not for me. Not my cup of tea. Wasn't sweet enough.
Well, well, I got one slam, man. When they had their little brawl, Seth did like a dive to these security guards, and he
Oh
just
yeah,
took like a face plant. Like they didn't catch him at all. I'd have been a little mad, man.
they need a performance center.
What's next on this show, man?
Yeah, we'll move on. I wish I could have moved on from having to watch it at all. A slight mention, just because I saw it coming out of a commercial break. Did you see The Miz and Maurice for WrestleMania the musical?
I did not. I saw the headline, but I didn't click on it. I didn't watch it. What happened? Did he do like a sing song thing?
Yeah, like a Broadway type play musical
Oh,
thing.
whoa, buddy. Hold up now. Now, your next words better be I enjoyed this because you were a MJF
Oh,
Chris
come on.
Jericho. you love that segment, so I would assume you enjoyed this one as well.
You are stretching my words, sir.
I'm just saying, buddy.
I did not love the MJF Chris Jericho segment. I just thought when I was flipping through the channels that it was pretty funny. And
That was your
personally, I don't think it was that bad.
Oh God.
But no, this
So what'd you
WrestleMania the musical sucked.
Come on, man.
The Miz can't sing. At least Chris Jericho's got a band.
Well, that's the charm. It's so bad it's good.
But all musicals are bad. I joke, I kid, but Hamilton
Come on
sucks.
now. Come on, man. You didn't. Did you see the other promo they played for the Sheamus and Drew and the Brawling
that one
Brute?
was good. I was gonna remark on it, but you're stealing my thunder.
Oh, sorry, brother.
You got ahead of me, brother. I mean it was cool though. I thought it was a funny set. What movie were they ripping off? Was it Hangover?
40-year-old virgin.
Good movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, man, those comedies in the mid 2000s were built different. I wish they made comedies like that now.
Yep, and I wish they still made TV shows like that because people hate How I Met Your Mother, but that is my go-to turn on TV. Don't want to think, have something in the background like somebody I don't have to pay attention to, but I still can like understand what's going on and get the jokes and everything. It's a good TV show.
Yeah, everybody has that. I got It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's mine.
Yep. See, I couldn't get into that one. I don't know why.
But it's hilarious to me. I didn't have cable for a while, and I only had like 4 channels, and it came on every single night, 5 nights a week, from like 11 to 12, and I never missed it.
Complete sidebar. Is there an overarching story in that show?
No, it's very random every episode.
Okay.
But they're concurrent with their stories. Like if something happened, they don't forget about it. They bring it up later on in other episodes or seasons.
Yeah. I've mainly just seen clips of like Danny DeVito, like that one where that dude is fixing to jump off the bridge and he's like, "Do a flip."
Yeah, did you see the wrestling episode they had?
No.
Oh man, it's great. Roddy Piper is in it.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of flips, Johnny Gargano and Dominic Mysterio was up next. Yeah. I didn't really watch this.
I thought this was Dom's best match, bro. You didn't watch this?
No, because Johnny Gargano was in it. And
yeah,
I put my first scoop was that he got no reaction, which is a scoop just because I thought it was funny. Did you?
Oh, man.
Dude, he got, I mean, it was dead silent when he came. It was like they didn't know who he was.
No, it was, yeah. Did they change his music?
Yes, it's a different, I think it's a girl singer now. Or was it a girl before?
It was a girl before. I don't know what
now.
that was. Yeah, that didn't. I don't know if they did that recently, but maybe that had something to do with the random song change that they had.
I want to
But
say it was when he came back to Raw this time. Like, he had the original one. Then, like, 2 or 3 weeks after, they changed it to this new version, and everybody was like, why? Everybody loved his old song.
yeah, his buns. But yeah, Dominic and Gargano actually had a pretty good match. It was Dom's. It was my favorite Dom one-on-one match.
I, now I feel bad. Now I have to go back and watch it. I'll let you take the lead then.
They played an NXT segment that actually made me want to go watch NXT for this week. They had like a little home invasion angle that Grayson Waller had on NXT with Johnny Gargano, and I thought that was pretty cool that they actually played something that happens in their same universe. Because usually, man, they just ignore NXT for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made me go watch the NXT weekly show. And yeah, my other scoop is just that this was Dom's best match. He's really coming into his own as a singles competitor, and I'm hoping he continues on this trajectory. Hopefully, it's just not a one-off because he was in the ring with Gargano, which I know we give Gargano a lot of flack because he's 5'6" and 160 pounds, but he is a really good wrestler when he's not doing finisher kick out fest.
Well, he just goes through the motions. That's my only thing. He just don't really tell a story, in my opinion. But I
He can have good matches.
I hope Dom and Ray have a really good match at WrestleMania, because it very well could be Ray's last WrestleMania, because I think his
Yeah,
contract comes up in August. And
jeez.
yeah, so, and I mean, that's a really good way to go out too, is facing your son. Um, I think the story they're gonna tell is gonna be really good. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for that match, and the build's been solid.
I can see Ray winning and they doing a rematch in like Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, that's true. He is booked for. There's no way they're not gonna book Rey Mysterio for that show.
I would do the mask versus hair match there if they actually gonna do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Cause I mean, Ray's like the biggest Hispanic wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
Some
Well, I maybe to because there's been a lot of big Hispanic stars like El Santo that was did like hundreds of movies in Mexico, and he has a statue in Tijuana or something. Like he was a huge deal in Mexico,
oh
or
jeez,
like Mil Mascaras.
that's what I
Mil
was about to
Mascaras,
say.
no,
Maybe him.
oh, yeah, man. There's been a couple guys that maybe have been a little bigger, but to American audiences, yeah, he is the biggest Latino superstar of all time.
Yeah, most people, even if they don't like wrestling, you can say, "Hey, you know who Rey Mysterio is?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, he's the guy with the mask."
Or if they see anybody with a mask on wrestling, they'll ask, "Is that Rey Mysterio?"
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you've gotten that over the
Oh
years.
yeah. The only slam I had was that the Dom promo was not my favorite of his. I don't know, something just wasn't connecting this
He,
time.
yeah, he kind of lost his train of thought
Yeah,
when he was talking.
it kind of seemed like Priest like tapped him like, "Hey man, get to the point." But I don't know. Maybe I just read that wrong. Well, things that went wrong is the topic of discussion, and Edge's promo certainly did that. Did you see this?
I did see it, but I didn't want to write anything down. You go ahead. It's all you right here.
This was straight off AEW television and House of Black. Like, that is written all over this. This is exactly what I thought of. But somehow it looked more low budget. Matter of fact, did you watch the Dark Side of the Ring on XPW?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, I bet you did. There's. Do you remember the clips of their special effects?
Jog my memory.
Okay, there's one where, what was the guy's name? He was the the Christian character there.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that ended up getting his finger chopped off in the Dark Side of the Ring. But he had a Christian name. I just don't remember what it was, and that was kind of his character, what it was based off of. Do you remember when he ascended to heaven with their awful special effects?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That is what this made me think of, or like a really low budget indie promotion. So it looked like it was recorded on an Android, which I'm assuming is probably Edge's phone or his laptop.
The
And
Messiah.
thank you. Yeah, he like ascended to heaven because he got, well, it wasn't accused because he admitted to it. He was
Yeah.
sleeping with the owner's wife. And yeah, it's boy, that promotion's a whole story, and just go watch. Well, I can't endorse that.
Sure you can.
Go watch the Dark Side of the Ring stuff. Anyways,
I think Vice has it for free on their website. Go watch it.
yeah. So I had two slams because one, the quality was awful for anything WWE because you could count the pixels on your screen if you looked hard enough. And secondly, so Edge is, I'm assuming, in a black t-shirt in a dark room, and he's got two candles lit, but they're in front of him, and they're not very like bright. And like I said, the quality sucks. So it just looks like his head is floating, like some old 80s sci-fi film. What
Maybe he was trying to summon the demon, and he was having a seance with the candles. I don't know.
Okay.
I
I'm
don't
not
know,
rocking
man.
with this.
I'm not rocking with Edge, and I mean, I didn't write anything down for Edge. The same way you feel about Logan, I feel about Edge.
Well, I'm not far off of either of them. With the, I only like Edge because of nostalgia, basically. Because I mean, this is just sucked. I'm ready for him to move on. This right here sucked.
Yeah, it should have ended at SummerSlam if we're being honest.
Yeah, and I don't know. They had like blow off matches. They've had like 4 blow off matches in this feud, and then that's it. And then nope, next week they beat them up again. Great. It's the Jericho Appreciation Society of the WWE.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comparison.
Speaking of Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley came in here to save the day. She was talking about Charlotte and their match at WrestleMania. Thought the promo was alright. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. Bayley interrupts and they have an impromptu match, which we'll get to my thoughts on. Scoops for this segment, the Rhea Ripley promo. What you got?
I got one, and it was for the match.
Okay.
Rhea, she pulled off a pretty good V-trigger. Did you see that?
Yeah, I thought the match wasn't half bad, even though Rhea was in street clothes, and that kind of threw me off.
Yeah, it did catch me off guard because I was kind of skimming through, and then I skimmed too far, and I was like, wait, hold up now. Rhea's in the ring with Bayley wrestling? What the heck? What happened there? Because, I tried to skip through the Edge segment. But, yeah, I thought the V-trigger she pulled off was better than Omega,
Well, I'd put her in the ring with Omega. I'd put money on Rhea.
Oh, I would too.
So, I mean, I'll go with my scoop. Because it kind of ties in. I don't think that the promo was bad. The crowd just did not care. And some of that can be said for the match, too. Because I thought the match was alright. V-Trigger looked nice. The finish was good. Rhea looks like a beast, even in street clothes. And Bayley's one of the best women's wrestlers they have there. But then they had to throw in Becky and Lita and Trish and... Again, why is Bayley... I know it's not a feud, but why is she coming out here to argue with Rhea? They're both heels. Bailey's got her
Yeah.
own thing to be worried about. Rhea's got her own thing to be worried about. It just felt like it shouldn't be happening. You know what I mean? That was one of my
Yeah.
slams.
And it's time to pull the plug on Damage Control after WrestleMania. It's over. This
Yeah.
was a really bad idea in hindsight, but at the time, I'm sure they thought they were going to do well together. But Bailey has not been succeeding in this role as the the mouthpiece for these two. I don't know, man. It just doesn't work for me. Uh, I didn't like Rhea's promo. It felt a little too rehearsed to me.
I thought she had some good points though about how she's gonna redeem herself from 3 years ago, and Charlotte's living on the past, and
It
that's
just,
basically her whole mantra.
I know the substance wasn't bad, but it's just how she delivered the lines. I didn't feel it. I don't think I don't know, man. It felt too WWE-ized, you know, when they got those promos that you can give to pretty much 70% of the roster and it would sound the same. I like the guys and girls to stand out with their promos and actually sound like them. This felt
Yeah.
like straight out of a This felt like she rehearsed it all day. A writer gave her a script at like 12 o'clock and she went out there and recited the lines. And then the crowd didn't care because they could tell that she didn't care, man.
Well, it's almost like that's probably exactly what happened.
And then who are we supposed to boo in this? Are we supposed to boo Rhea?
That's what
Is
I'm
Rhea
thinking.
turning babyface?
Because
She could have heel promo.
yep. And in my
But
eyes, I would be cheering for Rhea, which isn't what you want, 2 weeks before Mania when she's about to go against a babyface.
it feels like they have to do a double turn now. But then if you do a double turn, what the heck do you do with Judgment Day?
Oh, I tell you what to do. Get Finn out of there.
Bro, well then what do you do with Rhea then if she turns babyface?
Well,
See,
I'm just
this
saying.
just felt counterproductive, man. I don't know. Who are we supposed to boo, Bailey or Rhea?
You made me think about something real quick. Um, what does happen to Judgment Day after Mania?
Well,
Because
I would assume Finn wins against Edge, right?
I mean, I guess I could see that one, maybe, but like, so my thought is Rhea's most likely winning the title. Dom
Yeah.
is most likely gonna lose to Ray at Mania. Probably,
Oh, we don't know.
well, he may win at Mania and then Ray wins at Backlash or whatever. But I'm assuming that the story will play out that they make up. And if Rhea turns babyface, where does that leave Damien and Finn?
I think Triple H really likes Finn, so he would be okay. But Damien, I don't know. I'm not sure. The next pay per view is in Puerto Rico. And, Priest is Puerto Rican, so Bad Bunny is going to be the host of that show, which he has ties to Damian Priest. So I don't know. He's at least going to do something for a month after that, I would assume.
So maybe Edge and I don't know who you'd put with them versus Damian Priest and
Whoa!
Bad
Wait a
Bunny.
minute. No, no, please. We're going to continue the Judgment Day feud.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm just thinking logically.
Please, no. Micah, this has to be the end, man. Has to be.
We can only hope.
Please, God.
Well, following the Rhea Ripley Bailey fiasco was the Maximum Male Models and Otis. Except we didn't have any male models, so it was just Maximum. This one wasn't my favorite. I know we put them over last week, but this one just there was no masse, no mansoir, so there was no substance, and I don't think Maxine did a bad job, but I just don't think she could get him over without those two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I thought she did well though,
Yeah,
but it didn't have the comic relief as like the other segments.
I think Massey is the star of this whole thing.
Oh, don't disparage the good name of Mansois. I mean, he makes some of these segments too, man.
Yeah, he was the cameraman last week. He's
Yeah.
already better than Brandon Cutler.
Bro, he broke his camera. He's probably doing odd jobs, probably doing DoorDash, get some more money to buy another camera.
That's a good point. And Massey sprained his hand doing
There you go.
whatever she said in France at a photo shoot. I don't know, man. I find
Yeah.
these segments funny, but I was let down because I wanted to see, the male models, not just Maximum.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gable and Otis, they had a match after this with Ricochet and Braun Strowman, who are randomly on Raw because they're SmackDown talents. So, did you watch this?
Wasn't it Ricochet versus Gable?
Oh, I wrote this down wrong, but
Yeah,
that tells you that I didn't watch it.
I did watch it. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was all right.
I'm not gonna
They
lie,
work well together.
it was getting late in the night. The
Oh,
the night oil was burnt, and
oh,
I just didn't feel like it's two lower mid card guys, and I like Gable and I like Ricochet, but I knew nothing. I knew the world wasn't gonna set on fire. I knew the ghost of Bruno Sammartino and Mil Mascaras wasn't gonna,
oh, geez.
just feel these guys in this moment. So, I had a couple
It was
things I
okay.
was rather looking at.
Yeah, it was okay.
Well, something I'm assuming. Well, you got a scoop for this next match. You watch this? I'm shocked. There
I,
was some
I,
kind of women's match. I just seen Asuka and I was like, okay, I'm skipping this one.
there wasn't much to note about this match. Chelsea Green is doing well in her role.
She had a promo at the beginning of the show that I thought was all right.
Yeah, she's okay, man. She has a gimmick and she does it well. Bianca did the KOD, her finisher, the like puts her in like a Argentina backbreaker type thing, and she flips him over like it's a FU. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So she did that to Dewdrop, not Dewdrop, Jesus. Piper Niven. She did it to Piper Niven, and it looked pretty impressive. The crowd went crazy for it. She's done it a few times to the same Piper Niven or Dewdrop. Got the big reaction from the audience, and man, that was pretty impressive to see.
All right. Well, good to know I didn't miss a whole lot. I like Piper and I like Bianca, but I knew the Asuka Bianca build sucks, and I didn't want to watch this.
It's almost non-existent at this point.
Yeah. Plus, I knew what was coming up next, and I really wanted to see that, so I was fast forwarding because I'd already seen a clip that we're fixing to talk about. But the man, Roman Reigns, and the
Mm.
second man in charge, Cody Rhodes, were face to face in the ring with Paul Heyman behind them and Solo staring bullets into Cody. They did their typical back and forth. And I mean, I can't really explain it. If you didn't see this segment, definitely go watch it though, because it was the best thing on the show, and the build has been really good for this to me. I know we talked about it on the last show that I wish Roman was here a little more, but these promos seal the deal for me that I think this is going to be really good.
Is this the is this the best like one-on-one main event storyline? going into WrestleMania in the last, since what, 30? WrestleMania 30?
Well, that's taking in a lot of ground, and a lot of ground that I didn't watch. um, Last year's definitely this beats. And if you want to hit a scoop or two while I quickly fast forward through some of these Wikipedias, I'll get back to you on my opinion on that in just a second.
38 was Brock and Roman. 37 was the empty. No, they wasn't empty. 37 was Roman versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan, which I thought that was okay, but it just kind of got.
The match
It
was
kind of got.
good.
Yeah, the match was good, but I don't know. Maybe it's because it had Edge in it and I wasn't feeling it. The 36 had the empty arena with Brock and Drew, which didn't really have much build up because everything kind of got thrown for a loop halfway through the build up.
Yeah.
35 was Ronda, Becky, Charlotte, which was a mess. It was, oh, Jesus, that was bad.
Hmm.
People love Becky, but I don't know, man. The storyline just didn't make a whole lot of sense. It shouldn't have been Charlotte. Charlotte shouldn't have been there, but they added her in and they gave her a title for some reason in the week before the Mania match. 34 had Roman versus Brock again, which was pretty much the same thing as the 38 feud.
Hmm.
33 had not Triple H. It had Roman versus Undertaker, which was basically Roman threw Undertaker out in the Rumble, and he cut promos saying this is his yard now for pretty much the whole build up. 32 had Triple H versus Roman, which wasn't a bad storyline, just the crowd hated Roman at that point, and nobody wanted to see Triple H as the world champion at 50 years old. 31, everybody hated Roman again. Everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to be in the main event. So, yeah, man, what do you think? Laid it out.
Did
I
you
laid it all
look?
out.
Did you
Man.
look at something while you were doing that?
No, that was right out the dome, man.
My God. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a pretty good co-host.
Nah, man,
I
come on. I just remember Mania feuds.
I followed you on Wikipedia that whole time, and you were 100% spot on.
Bro, I've been locked in. You know that.
Anyways, you might be right when you put it like that. You might be right.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm really enjoying it so far, and obviously the Bloodline stuff has built up for a while. It's really good, and
yeah.
all this stuff has been really good to me. I'll go ahead and start us off with the scoops. I thought Roman's line about Cody running away because he couldn't accept the Stardust gimmick, and then he goes and makes his own company, and he couldn't get over, and then what does he do there? He runs away and comes back to WWE. I'm kind of surprised that they let him say that to a point, but I really enjoyed that part.
They actually said AEW on television one time, and it was never
Sammy,
mentioned again. Yeah, Sammy.
I seen that clip. Oh, what do you guys
Yeah,
want to talk about? AEW? Ooh.
that was that was jarring even back in 2019. But I like how they just retcon Tony Khan because I guess they just want to tell the story that Cody Rhodes funded AEW, right? He
I
started
guess
your
I didn't
company.
think about it, but yeah, they
He
say,
didn't
"Oh,
start.
Cody started it." They never say anything about Tony or the EVPs or anything, which I guess
Cody didn't
makes
start this
sense.
thing.
But
Oh, but come on, man. Cody didn't start this thing.
well, but you can't have all elite wrestling without Cody and Elite.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. That's like saying, Jeff Jarrett, you started TNA. Well, not really. I mean, his dad actually funded the company and he put Jeff in charge, but a little off topic, man. I know we go on our tangents there,
But
but
if that makes you feel better about it. So yeah, anyways, yeah. Big tangent, but so I thought that it was a good line, and
yeah,
Roman didn't have to say something about his dad for once to get heat.
he was sick of that too. Cody said, "I'm tired of people bringing up my dad. My dad's not gonna come out here and pull off a bionic elbow," or he said something else, but I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, and I was glad that he kind of, I don't know, maybe we're moving past that finally.
You was glad that he buried his dad. No pun intended.
Oh well. You got some scoops. I know you got some scoops. What you got?
Yeah. I thought Cody did a good job with getting in Solo's head and getting him to lose his cool. I thought that was a really nice touch. And he said one clever line about, I was carrying the champion's bag too when I was a second generation star or something to that effect. Cody, man, I thought he got the better exchange against Roman throughout this whole segment, especially with his closing line, which is another one of my scoops when he brought up, you need to learn how to lose, or the bloodline isn't going to be there once you finally lose because Jay's going to leave you. And then what are you going to be when your wise man just becomes an advocate? And Roman looked so shook when Cody like brought all that stuff up. He dropped the mic and stormed out the ring, and that's what the whole Solo lost his cool thing. I thought, man, it was some good stuff in this segment. Good stuff.
Yeah, they really planted seeds well, and they played. I don't know. Roman's so great at showing his emotions now, and he wasn't always good at that, but now it's really, I guess, just out there. And yeah, the Solo stuff was good because Cody really was like trying to hammer it in and get. Ultimately, Cody's goal is to try and get this bloodline to have dissension so he only has to deal with Roman at Mania. And he knew that if Solo would mess with him, he could probably take Solo one-on-one, and Roman don't want to hop in there at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that was good, and that was one of my scoops that Cody fired back with some really good stuff, talking about how his world's going to crash around him. And like you said, that really shook up Roman. But it's the truth. And like I said, he's planting seeds for the Jay breakup and that feud to carry on and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is a main event segment. You cannot get a better main event segment than this.
Yeah, if you skip everything on Raw, just don't skip this segment.
Yeah. Go find it on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
So, all in all, what is your excitement level for WrestleMania as we're 2 weeks out, or I guess mainly Cody versus Roman?
Okay, because those are two different answers. Because
Yeah,
I'm usually always excited for WrestleMania regardless, but the Cody and Roman stuff, I'm really, really looking forward to more than any other past WrestleMania main events over the last 10 years. Which is crazy to say, man. 10 years, Jesus. But, I mean, it's true.
yeah.
Unless we count the, because when they start doing two-night WrestleManias, do you count those as WrestleMania main events?
I would say
The first,
so.
the so would that mean that Sasha and Bianca main evented of WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Okay. Still though, even taking that into effect, I still think this is the most excited I've been about WrestleMania since about 2014.
Yeah. And honestly, one of the things that I really love about a main event feud for a title, like the let me take for example, what was Roman's last big match before Sammy? Um,
Logan?
no, KO, like the KO match. I really liked the Roman KO match, but you knew that Roman wasn't going to lose at Rumble.
Yeah.
But when you can, as a fan, watch the stuff play out on TV, and then you get to the match, and you legitimately are like, "Dang, I don't know who's gonna win," and you kind of get that feeling like you're truly invested in this, and you care. I mean, every punch you care about. Harkening back to our beginning topic of the show with CM Punk, when Punk fought Adam Page, when Punk fought John Moxley, I was that way. I was like, man, I really hope Punk wins, but I honestly don't know what direction they're going to go in. That's the way that I feel for this match, and I think I'm going to have that feeling when I finally see those two in the ring, that, who is going to win? Because I really think Cody's going to win, but, I mean, we've seen Roman be champion for the past couple of years, so it's not impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very enticing. And another element to it, you got the number one baby face versus the number one heel. And they've never touched. They've never had a one-on-one match unless you count Cody's other iteration, which, I mean, if you're going by when he since he came back, they haven't had any physical confrontation.
Yeah.
And that's something that you don't see a lot in wrestling nowadays, where the biggest show of the year has the number one baby face, the number one heel, and they've never faced off in a marquee match.
At least not juiced Cody.
Yeah, Juice Cody's different. This is this is ending racism Cody Rhodes right here.
Oh no. Oh man, if it was in February, Cody would be
Oh, it'd
a lot.
be oh heck yeah. I would have put in all my life savings into into DraftKings,
The official
bet on
sports
Cody.
book of the WWE.
Oh, of course.
But all in all, I'm really excited for this match, and it is going to be a fun WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be a very tiresome WrestleMania weekend, and when we get there, we'll let you know a tentative schedule, because I'm sure that we will probably just do a WrestleMania episode and then slate all three shows for the weekend show till we can get back, situated and everything. But all in all, I thought a really good, or a really solid episode of Raw, and I think we had a solid episode here today, talking about some good stuff, talking about Punk, talking about Raw, but I think that we're all good here, so we're going to go ahead and close it up. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Scoop Slam podcast. If you would, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok for all your updates, small clips. Make sure to share the word with your friends. We got Linktree, send them that. Just let them know about us, because we're here to stay, and we have a good time doing this, or I do at least. I hope you do. I would imagine.
Oh,
you keep showing up to these calls. I don't even invite you. You're here already.
You got my family held hostage, Micah. I got to do the Scoop Slam podcast to save them.
We not got to let all the details out. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Scoop Slam podcast, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy.